welcome to Inspiring Women with ADHD. I'm Renee Allen, the host of this podcast. Excited to be here today and talk to you a little bit about the holidays before the holidays. If you're listening today, the day it came out, or even a few days later, you know that it's late October, Halloween is coming, and after Halloween, there are other holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, or Hanukkah, New Year's, Valentine's, Easter. And even though Valentine's is a little later than New Year's, Easter's kind of a lot later than Valentine's. You can go lots of months, lots of weeks, lots of meals, lots of days with bad habits because of the holidays. Food is marketed to you in a way to make you want to eat it. And it's also tempting. There are a lot of events going around, but I think of like Valentine's Day. Do we really need chocolate on Valentine's Day or Easter or in our stockings? Maybe we might. But there was a time that I would diet a lot. And I try to be strong. And but I'd think, oh, it's Halloween and all the candy and caramel apples. And people maybe don't make caramel apples as much. Hot chocolate, apple cider. I don't know, so many traditional things. And then companies started making the candy packaged and even the colors for the holidays. They didn't used to do that long ago. When I was growing up, you didn't get M&Ms in fall colors for Thanksgiving or Halloween, or you didn't get them in Christmas colors or Valentine's colors. Once they started making them in the colors for the holidays, I started buying them as a mom because how cute is that to put them in a dish and have them on your counter to celebrate the holiday? That marketing worked for me in a very big way. Many other things, filling up a stocking with candy and all those goodies, the meals, the traditions with the pie and desserts and giant meals that are 2,000 calories, 3,000 calories? I don't know. There's some estimate for what a Thanksgiving dinner is. Christmas dinner with ham or whatever your tradition is. All of those things are wonderful. They can be great traditions. But if you're splurging for October, November, December, January, February, March, April, that's the holidays, 7 months of the year, 6 months, depending on when it is, because I guess Halloween's at the end. But, you can go to Halloween parties at the school, things earlier than that, making the cupcakes, the things that are orange and black. All of that feeds into unhealthy habits. If sugar is a weakness for you, and it may be, if you have ADHD, you need more dopamine. And sugar's a great way to get it. Not for very long. It doesn't last, but it's a good way to get that hit of dopamine that you need, a little boost until you go down a little deeper, a little lower. So then you need more, then you need more, then you need more. Which reminds me, I forgot to take my last dose of ADHD medicine. That's okay. I've been on here. This is my stimulation. It's talking to you. Just thinking out loud here. A full disclosure. I guess I'll be fine. But back to healthy habits. What habits do you have that are healthy already? And do you struggle with them during the holidays? And what might be the reason why? Maybe nutrition, eating. Is water considered nutrition, hydration? Maybe nutrition isn't your struggle. Some people have a lot of control with eating. I have never been one of them. I've never been one of them, especially when sugar's, in the mix. But one of the reasons that keeping the habits that you may have developed, whether it's exercising, going on a walk, stretching, doing yoga, you like to run, you like to get on machines at the gym, any of those things, hiking, you might be really consistent with them during the year, but it falls apart from Thanksgiving till after New Year's. Why would that be? Why would that be? You get busier, You have so many things to do to get ready for Christmas. And then once Christmas comes, you think, well, it's just another week till New Year's. I'll wait till after the New Year. That seems like a very clear cut time, like a Monday, January 1st, to set new goals and recommit. Something that's pretty universal. I teach yoga classes and a few fitness classes, and the gyms fill up like crazy in January. February, it starts to trickle off. I've joked before, like, are you going to be here in February when my classes get packed with new people? I hope they are. I don't want to scare, I don't want to insult them, but, I hope you stay. I know you've recommitted, but it can happen. We set these new goals, we're good with them for a little bit, and then we might slip or slide. And a lot of times when you have a change in your schedule, when you don't have that routine, there's a challenge to the routine, whether it's you're traveling, you have guests staying with you, maybe you work out in a certain room and someone's staying in that room, or you feel like you need to be in the kitchen with them, enjoying breakfast instead of off at the gym working out. Any schedule changes, even busier to buy presents, wrap presents, shop for more food, that can interrupt whatever program you had going on, whatever habits you had. It can disrupt your consistency. And you also have more events to attend. You might have more opportunity to eat out with friends or to go to a party. Or if you have family, I grew up in the same town with all four grandparents. So we had 2 Thanksgiving dinners, 2 Christmas dinners, 2 Easter dinners. Very fun for me. I mostly ate the Jello and the rolls. I didn't eat much. I certainly didn't like stuffing back then with turkey. I liked turkey, all right, but I liked very bland or sugary or carby foods. But extra food, if you're eating that extra food, you not only will eat more during that time, you might gain weight, but you also require more to stay satisfied after that. I don't know what science says, but I used to be, they would say that if you eat more, your stomach stretches, and then you require more to eat in order to feel full or satisfied. But if you eat less food, your stomach shrinks, but until it shrinks, you feel really hungry. It's not pleasant. So it can be more challenging for you to get back to how much you ate before if you've been eating a lot during the holidays. And also just transitions, making decisions, planning things out is once you get off track, if you have ADHD, you might have a harder time regrouping. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the word, yeah, regrouping or just kind of wrapping your head around, okay, what's going on here? I need to catch up on laundry, making sense of the aftermath and deciding what to do. And what I have found over time in my long, long life is, and you might have some suggestions too, but these are just mine, is simplifying your goals, giving yourself an allowance for special occasions, but in a way that doesn't mess up the rest of your week, the rest of your life. I feel like I'm messing up my hair, so I'm going to just try to clear it out. But anyway, yeah. So what I found is any habit you can build before the holidays, the better. Starting now so that you can stick with it later, so you can have success later is good, but also giving yourself a safety net, not necessarily a cheat day of on this day, I won't do this. You might have a rest day from exercise, but never have a day where you're not aware of your habits because good health is important. You don't want to get sick. The holidays are also the peak time for getting sick when people are getting colds and flus, viruses, but who knows what kind of infection. It is no fun being sick. I was sick a lot last year in December, even kind of Thanksgiving. Yeah, November, December. What was I doing? What was my problem? I have found that when I'm not eating sugar, when I'm eating healthier, when I'm getting more sleep, especially, I'm not getting sick as much. And then also supplementing. Whatever supplements you take to build your immune system, take them during the holidays so that you can prevent getting sick as much as trying to fortify yourself once you start to feel sick because it doesn't always work when you're at that point. So, what are some of the healthy habits that you have? Let's start with movement, whatever that movement is for you. Things that get you outside or take you to a gym. That's worded very poorly. But going outside to exercise, going to the gym to exercise, exercising in your own house. It can be walking, running, biking, machines, simple hiking, walking super nice, especially if you're on a hill, if your knees can handle it. It's just invigorating and it's just so calming. I just went to Washington, D.C. and stayed with my cousin, and they love to go for walks, and it's kind of hilly there in Arlington. And we even went to a Civil War fort park and got to see some history. I saw different trees that I'm used to here or in California, got to see the fall trees. So, all of that enrichment is good for my health, in addition to the walking that I did. And walking instead of parking close to a building, anything that you can do to walk within your day, walking farther into the store or into your work. Maybe not to the school if you're taking kids. Maybe you wanna have the kids closer to the school, but any of those things that you can do that can get your body moving in a way that's helpful for you, not causing any problems. You don't wanna push yourself so much that you get sick. There's a thing called overtraining, and if you think, "I'm just gonna hit the ground running, and I'm gonna work out every day for an hour, and I'm gonna do all these weights," and you haven't built up to that in a gradual way, you could get sick, you could get injured, all kinds of things could happen, and you need your body to be strong. You don't need to wear it out to the point of extreme fatigue and kind of tearing itself down to where you just need sleep. You just need sleep, you need rest, you need some time not doing that. So pace yourself, especially as you get older, and notice how you respond, because what you once did, especially if you haven't had a consistent exercise routine for a long time, what you once did may not be what's best for you now. You don't always have to go for, I used to do this and I should be able to do it again, because it's not always true. So just figuring that out for yourself, and whatever your movement goals are. You might not have to do it every day. You could make it so you do at least 20 minutes of something a day or 30 minutes of something a day. You can simplify the goal as much as you want, even though, for habits they say be specific. Be specific for a goal. You can be specific for a goal if you need that specific whatever it's called, specificity, specific. Yeah, whatever it is. Anyway, it can help to know, what time of day am I going to do it? Do I have the resources to do it? If I want to start working out with weights at home, do I have the weights? Do I have the program? You can have that in mind, or it can be a simple thing. I'm going to walk out the door and go for a walk. So that can be where it's simple, but it's still something that you're going to do. Or you can just say the time frame. So whatever works for you, because if you need the freedom of it to be the time frame, especially if you're traveling, then you can go for a walk at someone else's house, or you can go pay for a week at the gym if you're in another town or something like that. And you can just have, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to use the weight machines. I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to take a class. I'm going to look at the schedule and take a class. So it can be simple like that in the goal, and allow yourself, if you're traveling, a little bit of room for it to be different. The more that you allow for something to be different, the better you'll be at being consistent. And it might not seem like it because you're thinking, well, I'm not consistent because I didn't do the same thing the whole time. That's okay. You kept doing something. And if something super disrupted it, you're sick with a cold and you have 3 days where you can't do it, or 5 days or something like that, that is life, and you hop back on when you're better. Or you do something a little gentler. You can walk outside and just go out and get the mail every day. Something to get your body moving if you can. If you can. I know sometimes you get so achy and so sick, it's horrible. It's really horrible. But whatever your movement goal is, have an idea of what it'll be. From now, you can plan it out tonight if you want, write it down. From now until New Year's. If you do it from now till New Year's, you can make a new goal like right before New Year's Eve and start a new plan after New Year's or after you go back to work or after school starts again, but at least plan till things get normal again. The Valentine's Easter issue isn't so much with the habits like exercise and stuff, it's more with the eating. It's just like if you have thrown in the towel and think, I can't eat healthy, I'm on a sugar loop, I don't want to eat anything but sugar. And maybe that sounds weird to you, but I did that for many, many, many years. If you're doing that, it is really hard to reel it in by Valentine's or Easter because you just keep going with it. But if you have these other areas of good health, healthy habits that you're focusing on, the nutrition's a small piece of it, and giving yourself grace with that while being wise is really important. So, 1, movement. 2, sleep. We all know how important sleep is. Reducing stress, giving our body time to heal, giving our brain time to heal, being strong, not taxing the immune system. If you don't get enough sleep, you're much more prone to getting sick. When other people have colds and flus, they cough on you, and you're just like, great. If you're low on sleep, your body's not going to be as strong to fight things. So get your sleep. Mental health, too, get your sleep. If you have a hard time getting up in the morning, go to sleep earlier. So set those goals. Tell yourself what time you should go to sleep. And if it's a big jump back to earlier, try it in little increments. 10-minute, it's probably a little harder to plan out, maybe 15-minute, 30-minute increments. And it's not like 10 minutes is impossible, but it just feels weird. I think we're so used to our half hour, full hour clock that quarter hour seems better. But going to sleep earlier is really important, and getting enough sleep and just knowing your body. If you're somebody who needs 8 hours of sleep, get your 8 hours of sleep. Get your 9 hours, get your 10 hours, get your 6. I'm a 6-hour person. I feel very blessed for that, but when I'm sick, I can see I need more sleep. So do what you can to get your sleep. If you're having problems falling asleep, talk to your doctor, see if maybe you need to change your medications or if there's a supplement you can take. I like ashwagandha. There's another one called Better Sleep that I think it has ashwagandha in it. And it used to be, I'm going to look it up real fast. It used to be that Amazon stopped selling it, but I like it a lot. It's just a little more expensive. It kind of went up. Oh, Sleep Better is what it's called. There are also essential oils, homeopathics. One of the homeopathics, those little tiny, they're a little blue boiron, Boiron, that have the little tiny white sugar balls that you put on your tongue. And I think it's of course I can't remember. It's like coffee, but it's like coffeeta or something. And you're actually putting little bits of coffee in at night, which makes no sense, but the body's having the exact opposite response. Your body's getting sleepier instead of waking up, and it actually works. But I have a hard time with homeopathics just because with ADHD. I learned that you're not supposed to have peppermint before or after or anything but water. I don't know, there's all these rules. And so I was kind of ruining it for myself because I'd forget and then brush my teeth or something. So it's a little complicated for the ADHD brain, so I don't do that as much. But the supplement that I like, and talk to your doctor. I don't want to be responsible if this doesn't work for you or if you have a reaction. So read the ingredients, take full responsibility if you decide to buy any of these. But this one's called Organs Wild Harvest Organic Sleep Better. What does it have in it? It just went up in price a little bit, so I've just been buying the ashwagandha instead. Skullcap tops, valerian root, ashwagandha root, so it does have ashwagandha, passion flower tops, I don't know what that means, the top of the flower, and hops strobiles. I don't know what it means. It smells good. You can smell it through the supplement, and the ashwagandha smells good too. Purchased 6 times, so it's been a while. I haven't purchased it in over a year, though. But that doesn't mean I haven't used it over a year. It's just there's 90 in the bottle, and you take 2 1/2 hour before bedtime. I didn't know that. I don't always read the directions or remember them. I always take the number and write it with a Sharpie on there really big so I can just see it, but I didn't know you're supposed to take a half hour before bedtime. But yeah, if you need a supplement or something to help you go to sleep, if you need some routines that help you go to sleep, there's so much information on that. I've made a few podcast episodes about it, but get into a better sleep habit and keep that consistent with the holidays. If people are staying over, maybe plan your days and your evenings so that you're still getting enough sleep. If there are children that get up early that are staying with you, go to sleep earlier so that you're not worn out in the morning when they wake up and grouchy. So I just say that because I've done that before. But so movement, sleep, and relaxation. What is the difference between sleep and relaxation? Sleep is when you're asleep, relaxation is when you're awake, but your body is resting. So they're two different forms of rest. And relaxation can be mental, not giving yourself so much stimulation that can be stressful, whether it's reading emails, doing finances, watching the news, or reading things online that are unsettling. None of that's relaxing. So, noticing what stress is coming in and not inviting as much in, and then also doing things that are relaxing, whatever that is for you. It could be going for a walk in nature, it could be sitting on your front porch, it could be watching TV, whatever that is for you. And it can be a yoga class. Of course, I like to say that because I'm a yoga teacher. It could be legs up the wall. I have a free yoga class on my website called Lie Down and Let Go. I think it's still on there. I think it is. And it's 20 minutes and you hardly do anything. It's relaxing. Some people think it's hard to lay down and not do anything, but it's a practice. It's something you have to learn to do. And when it's important, you learn to do it. You learn to do it. And hopefully you enjoy it eventually. So movement, I have to say these things to, review because we don't always remember. Movement, sleep, relaxation, nutrition. So that's the one that we think of the most when we talk about healthy habits is what we're eating, what we're not eating. I think the most helpful thing for me, the biggest shift that I had with eating was not villainizing food, not making it bad and good, not making it black and white. If you have a reason for cutting certain foods out of your diet, that is totally good. And it may be bad for you. It might be that you have celiac disease or you have a gluten intolerance. Gluten is bad for you. You can villainize that if you'd like, for sure. Make it the enemy. But if it's something that you're going to eat sometime or you could eat and you'll be exposed to, there is a question in your mind that you could eat it. Like with the celiac, there's no question. You're not going to eat the gluten if you can help it. If it's accidental, that's a huge problem, but it's not something that you caused to happen. And I have family members with celiac, and I'm still, just from being at their house a few weeks ago, I'm still mindful of what I touch. And if there's still flour in my hands, it kind of freaks me out because I feel that way so much when I'm around them. I want to protect them from that. But if it's something like sugar or if it's dairy where you're not a vegan, you haven't decided to cut dairy out of your life forever, but you find that you're more susceptible to allergies when you eat dairy. And so, for the most part, if it's a for the most part thing, if you think there may be a time in your life when you eat it again, that's where you need to take out the bad and the good. You have to take out the black and the white because the second that you make it the black, you make it the and I say the black and the white as one extreme or the other. The the bad food, once you say that it's the bad food, if you love it, if you see it, if you're tempted by it, it's going to have a lot more power. And if you have some, we even have words like succumb to it because we feel like we have to work so hard to not have it. And then we become weak and then we have it. Like we say, I'm not going to eat any sugar from Halloween until Easter, and these have been words that have come out of out of my mouth and have been on pen and paper for years. When I do that, I can be really good at it, and I actually feel really good being that way, and in some ways, I wish that I could have stuck with it, but I never did stick with it completely, like, for a whole year that I know of, that I remember, could have been. And the second that I didn't, it had so much power in my body that it wasn't good, and then that's all I wanted again. I'd kinda get sick, and then I just only want sugar again. And so I only say that as a cautionary tale to you, that if you have some kind of food that you wish you didn't eat so much of, then make it a goal to not eat so much of it instead of to never eat it again. Because if you can have it sometimes and it has a meaningful purpose in your life, if it helps you connect with people, it helps you feel a sense of pleasure, enjoyment, joy, love, all those things, then do it. Have that gelato in Italy. Have that experience. Don't tell yourself, I can't ever do that again, unless you really can't ever do it again for a health reason, unless you really are never going to do it again. Because if there's always a chance that you could have it, there's also a chance that you would want to overdo it again. And it's better to have it some of the time than to overdo it, health wise for sure, because not all foods are created equally for health. And some aren't healthy at all. They just aren't healthy at all. And ice cream's probably one of those. And I just had some, I was kind of laughing because in between, surprise, surprise, that I sit here and laugh at myself. But in between the last 2 episodes and making this one, I went in the kitchen and thought, I'm going to eat some ice cream. And we have this ice cream here that's really good. If you have Bluebell ice cream in your town, your area, we didn't have it in California. It's really good if you get the right flavors. I don't like the homemade vanilla, and it has worse stuff in it, actually. I like I can't remember what it's called, vanilla bean. It has a dark brown lid, or ring around the lid instead of gold, and most of the stores sell it with the gold. Just a little public service announcement if you have Bluebell ice cream. That their Dutch chocolate, their milk chocolate, although I did read that their Dutch chocolate has some ingredients I'd rather not have. I get kind of snobby with ingredients, and that does help. If you have some things like, I don't really want anything with a high fructose corn syrup, and then you read that it does, that can help you make an informed decision in a different way. Like, I don't want to have it. But if you do want to have something, allow yourself to have it every once in a while if you haven't talked yourself out of it for some reason. I still do wanna have some chocolate ice cream, but maybe not that one anymore. But, yeah, food, it's so complicated, it's so complex that looking at nutrition in a way that is more balanced, and also thinking of eating to fuel you through what you need to do next. It's morning. I'm not going to be able to eat again for 4 more hours because I need to go do this, 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 this. What can I eat that'll sustain me for that long? Because there are some things that you might eat that will make you so you're hungry in a couple hours. So if you want to have more power from that meal, then think of what you would have. And it might have more protein in it. It might be a protein shake. It might have a lot of powders and fruit, and it might be whatever your favorite breakfast is. And you'll know the difference. Unless you're really young, you know what things help you through your day and what things don't. And so look at your food as being enjoyable, as having a purpose to taste good and be yummy and everything, but also to carry you through until you can eat again. Because if you're really busy, that might be the case where you need it to fuel you longer. That helps me a lot too, because when I think of that way, there are a lot of foods that fill that category of what can sustain me. And then I'm trying to decide between which of these three good choices do I have, instead of nothing sounds good and I only want this, but that's probably not a good option because it's not healthy for me. So just kind of trying to have a balanced approach to your nutrition and allowing yourself at special occasions if you want. Doesn't mean you have to, but allowing yourself to have sugar if you want to have the sugar or whatever it is that you think you should probably limit. You can still limit it, but that means you can still have some. And also as you go, so let's say you go to some occasion and they have pie and they have cookies and they have chocolates and they have all these yummy foods. Choose one, eat it. If you still have room to try another one, eat that. But don't feel like you have to finish any of the servings that you take. And also give yourself a little bit of time, a little bit of water in between, because we often get fuller. The results or the residuals from eating will show up not immediately. So you can see, did this give me a headache because I ate too much sugar too fast? Cheesecake is pretty rich, whatever that is. Give yourself a little bit of time in between, drink some water in between or something to kind of help balance it out. So these are just my little, they're more guidelines in your approach to these things than specifics. But yeah, obviously I am sharing some specifics too. And the last one, unless I think of another one after this, is hydration. Making sure you have enough water. You probably know being hydrated is more important than almost anything. We can go longer without food, longer without sleep, probably even longer without relaxing. Any of those things that I mentioned, longer without moving than we can without water. So make sure you have enough water. If you don't like drinking water, I know people who are like that. They need a powder with it. They need a juice, something so it's flavored. I understand that. I didn't used to understand it until I found some powdered drinks that I liked, and then it was hard to go back to water. But try to have water too, because you don't always need a flavor. And if you have a filter in your fridge, that might make your water taste better. But drink water too. If you need ice to cool it down or a straw so that, I don't know, make your water experience pleasurable for yourself. But have water wherever you go, have it available. And when you work out, when you go for a walk, when you anything, drink water after. And if you're doing a workout at the gym, drink water throughout. And same with your day. Have a water bottle on your desk, your counter, in your car. I even bring mine in the grocery store. I'm always afraid I'll lose it, but I've never lost one in a grocery store. I've lost them other places, but but drink water. Drink it without throughout the day, and it will help all those other things. It'll help your body do better in your workouts. It'll help you sleep better, unless you wake up to go to the bathroom like I do. But I still am able to go back to sleep, thankfully. There was a time that I couldn't, and I'd wake up to go to the bathroom, and it's like, oh great, I'm not going to be able to go back to sleep again. But life. Yeah, I guess the main thing is not looking at it as, here's the plan. Oh no, I failed. Here's the plan. Oh no, I that didn't work. Make a plan that's doable, reachable, and when you veer a little this way or a little that way, you're not going into a failure zone. You're going into a zone that's allowed in your plan because you're allowing for that. Does that make sense? You're letting yourself do some things that still bring you joy. You're not putting yourself in a cave during the holidays and saying, I can't even go to these events because it's going to be too tempting. I've lived that life where I was stressed about going out to dinner with friends, stressed about, oh no, there's this Christmas party on Friday. What am I going to do? I know they're going to have this, and this, and I can't have it. And I was stressed to be presented with those foods and be able to succeed or not eat it and feel uncomfortable when other people were or something. There's just so many things that can go on in your head around food. And tell yourself, I can have it if I want, but just eat a little bit and see how I feel. Don't overdo it. Don't make yourself sick. Make yourself happy, but balance. Balance. Oh, I think that's it. I think that's it. And start now before Halloween. And don't make Halloween candy. I mean, maybe you're not tempted by Halloween candy. I'm not anymore. But, you know, don't feel like it's never gonna be here again because it is. It's here every Halloween. It'll be here after. It'll be half price or 75% off at CVS or somewhere afterwards. You can always get more. But if your grandchildren, your children are trick or treating, or you have food or candy that you're buying and then you end up with leftovers. I used to take, well, a few little tricks if you're a mom or grandma, but I used to save the Halloween candy that my kids didn't eat or that we had left from something. We never had trick-or-treaters, but if we brought it to a party or something like that, I would just save it for Christmas stockings. And you can freeze the chocolate if you're afraid that it's gonna go bad. And yeah, it's not shaped like a Christmas tree or anything, but you can use your Halloween candy in Christmas stockings, so that's one thing. I also paid my children, and it wasn't a control thing, it was just more of a, "Do you wanna earn some money?" And I'm tired of seeing candy in the house for a whole month after Halloween. And they didn't eat it super fast. You know how some families, like, when I grew up, I had 4 brothers, we ate it, it was all gone so fast, but my kids would have it for a long time, and I got kinda tired of it. So I offered them $1 a day for each child if they didn't have sugar, but they didn't have to not have sugar. Like, usually, they would spend a few days eating their Halloween candy until they were done eating their Halloween candy, and that might mean that they had a lot of candy left, and they might even give it to me and say, "Hey, give it," put it in the stocking, or they'd hold on to it if there was a day they wanted some. But for every day they didn't have the candy or any sugar, it was a no sugar, then they got $1, and when it was time for Christmas, they could use it for Christmas shopping, and they looked forward to it. I should ask them now if they still have good memories of it, because sometimes when they're younger, they actually do enjoy it, but then they go back and look at it and think that it was a bad experience. And I don't think it necessarily was. I think now they think it's kind of funny that I did that. But I wasn't trying to buy them up. I was just giving them an option to make money for Christmas shopping and also to, yeah, there was a reward for me too, not to have candy all over the place. And I think I also was, that was probably in my no sugar days, and I was trying not to have as much candy around. But that's it for today. Thank you for being here. Let me know if you set any new goals for the holidays that you didn't have before. And just notebook and paper, Google Doc, write out any ideas that you have for yourself. This is, you don't have to do all that for me, but if you want to share it with me and let me know what kind of goals you have. It's kind of fun to hear when women would share with me about, walking instead of taking the car, and when she could have before, it just took longer, so she had to plan out her day that way, but there are a lot of rewards to that mentally too, just to be able to walk and let things process while you're walking. It's interesting because I listen to my Air AirPods, I wanna say earbuds, AirPods, all the time with the podcast, music, things like that, TV shows. I do that to get things done at home, and when I was traveling, I didn't do that at all because when I was at my cousin's house, I was visiting with them, and we went on walks together. I didn't get in the car and drive anywhere. The only place I went by myself, I took the subway, the metro, the train, and walked there, and it was such an invigorating walk from DuPont Circle to Georgetown. I didn't wanna plug my ears. I wanted to take in the sounds, the sights, the homes, the historic homes. So beautiful. The trees were different, all of that. And I thought, you haven't had any of that, what I enjoy, but noise in my ear for a long time. It was just my own thoughts. And I think sometimes I try to quiet my own thoughts just so I can get things done at home. And there, I didn't need to do that. I was on vacation. So give yourself a vacation from your thoughts or your other things, your other noise if you can, by taking a walk. By taking a walk. I guess that's it. I know I say that a lot. It's one of my favorite things to say at the end, but then I might say it 5 times and talk more. But thank you for being here. I don't think I've mentioned this lately, but leave me a review if you can, 5 stars. You can write words or not write words if you're on an audio podcast. Subscribe, download the episodes if you're on YouTube. I think that's also called subscribing, like, follow, all those things. It helps me grow and it helps us become more of a community. Thanks so much. Bye.
Open windows, broken shadows. Frozen dreams are left for tomorrow. Without a cause. No time for a pause. Rewind, I've run out of time to sing melodies and harmonies. I'm cut short, the silence of sound has yet been found, but not by me.